All right, YouTube, what's going on? This is story time with Wayne again. Last video, you got a chance to hang out with me and my wife, and we talked about our experience um, with the cruise, Sky Princess Cruise. Uh, so if you get a chance, check out that video. But today, I want to talk to you about an experience I had taking my wife uh, on a trip for her birthday. Took her to Jamaica. This was my first time to Jamaica. I don't know if it was my wife's first time, but I know it was my first time, so I was very excited. But again, this was for my wife for her birthday. So I started doing some research. Then I chose this hotel um, called Iberostar Selection Rose Hall Suites. Okay, let me say that again. Iberostar, that's Iberostar Selection Rose Hall Suites. Now, this place was supposed to be a 5-star hotel, but it was not 5-star at all. And I'm going to tell you why. So, first of all, I want to tell you how they have this set up. So, there's actually 3 Iberostar hotels. Okay? And they're all supposed to be 5-star. Now, I want you to think about that. 3 hotels, 5-star. What's the purpose of that? What's the difference between these 3 hotels? If you have 3 hotels, they're like all by each other. Okay? 3 in a row. They're not separated, spread throughout the island. They're all in a row, set up by each other. To me, that's kind of strange, weird, and bizarre because I'm trying to get the difference here. But there is a difference, and the difference is they're not all 5-star. There's only one hotel actually that's really a 5-star hotel. So if you've been to 5-star hotels, which I know you guys have, there's a different level and a different standard. You choose a 5-star hotel because you want top tier, top notch quality. Well, there was no top tier, top notch quality where we stayed, which I'm going to get into, but I have to explain this first so you can understand the foolishness that's going on with this brand in Jamaica. They're in other places, but I did not like my experience in Jamaica. I did not understand this concept of these 3 hotels are the same, bear the similar names, just different titles, and I'll tell you the rest of the titles. And all 3 are supposedly 5-star. I don't know if these people understand what 5-star is, and I don't know if this just is a gimmick. So where I stayed at is, I think I told you earlier, but I'll say it again, the Iberostar Selection Rose Hall Suites. So now they have another place which is truly the 5-star. We did not stay here, but this is a 5-star place. It's called the Joya Rose Hall by Iberostar. So that Joya is Joia, Rose Hall by Iberostar. Okay? The third one was Iberostar Waves Rose Hall Beach. Now this is in Montego Bay, Jamaica. And so you have those 3 hotels, the Joya Rose Hall by Iberostar, the Iberostar Selection Rose Hall Suites, and the Iberostar Waves Rose Hall Beach. Okay? 3 all together in a row. Supposedly, it's supposed to be all of them, all 3 is first class, which is not true. So that's a gimmick within itself. Because I'll tell you the truth. Like I said, the first one, the Joya, the Joia Rose Hall by Iberostar, that is a 5-star hotel. Top notch, top quality. I don't know how the service is because we did not stay there. We did go do a tour there, but I'll tell you about that scam too. So The second one is the one we stayed in, which is supposedly supposed to be a 5-star, but like I said, it was more 4-star, really 3.5-star. Okay, really, I shouldn't even give it 4. But if you want to say quality compared to the next one, then yeah, okay, I can give it a 4, but barely. Okay. The third one was Iberostar Waves Rose Hall Beach, which is a 3-star. So actually, with those three, in reality, not going by what they say, is the first one is a 5-star. The second one is really a 4-star, but almost a 3.5. And then the third one is a 3-star. But they advertise them as 3 5-star hotels. And like I say, they're right by each other. So another thing, and so it depends on which hotel you stay at. It will give you the opportunity to go to the other hotels, okay? Now, we stayed at the Selection Rose Hall Suites, Iberostar. So we were allowed to use the lower hotel, which it is a lower hotel, the Iberostar Waves Rose Hall Beach. You can kind of use their amenities and go to their restaurants, okay? But if you can't go to the 5, really the real 5-star, okay? Now, if you get the real 5-star one, which is the Joya, the Joia Rose Hall by Iberostar, if you go there, then you get to utilize the amenities from the Iberostar Waves Rose Hall Beach and the Selection Rose Hall Suites of Iberostar. So you get to use all 3 if you get the highest priced hotel, which all 3 is supposed to be 5-star. You see the confusion here? Okay. You don't. Now, the amenities that you get is not some outstanding different amenities. It's basically the same stuff. It's just better quality. That's it. All of them have pools. All 3 have pools. All 3 have a beach front with chairs. It's just each one has better quality. That's it. That's all you're really getting. So to advertise them all 3 as 5-star, I personally feel it's wrong, because you're not going to get the same quality at each one of these labeled all 3 5-star hotels. Okay, so that was my first issue with them. So don't let that trick you guys. You can make your own decision, but if you want to think all 3 of them is 5-star to make yourself feel good, like you went to a 5-star hotel, go right ahead. But I guarantee you will not have the experience and the quality of 5-star with all 3 of those hotels. It will not be the same. So, like I said, so this is me and my wife, first time going. Of course, if you can tell by my accent, my language, I'm from the United States, okay? So we came in, we went to Jamaica. You know, that flight can be long, okay? It was a long flight. So my idea of a hotel, I can't speak for you guys, or not a hotel, but a vacation to relax, because this was a vacation and a celebration for my wife. I think of relaxation. I want to relax. I don't want to come to a place and feel like it's uncomfortable. I can't relax. Somebody's always trying to sell me something or get something from me, which I've already paid a lot of money to stay here, and you still want more money, and I can't enjoy the vacation because I'm being sold all the time. So this was our experience here. So what happened, me and my wife got there. We get off the shuttle. We go in. The staff is there. They're there to check us in. But this is what I noticed while we're waiting. We come up there where they are, and I see the staff members looking at each other. So you have a girl who's sitting at the desk. She's looking at the other person at the front desk, and they're giving each other the eyes. Okay? So the concierge is sitting down at the desk, the other person is at the front desk at the hotel, and they're giving each other eyes like, get ready to get them. After we're done checking them in, you get ready to do your part. We have us some suckers here. That's how I felt how they were looking at us, right? So I already saw that. I already seen that, hey, something is about to transpire here that I am not going to like, based off of body language and eye contact and all that kind of stuff. So, make a long story short, of course, when we were done checking in, they were like, hey, you need to go see so and so. Okay, I forgot her name. So I'm like, okay. So I already knew. Now, personally, I wanted to say something, but my wife, my loving wife, was excited and she was like, oh, yeah, let's go talk to them. That's just her personality. She's very friendly. She wants to talk to people. She wants to conversate and find out things. So it's her birthday, it's her time. So I gave her her way. So I said, okay. But I already knew in my head some scamming is about to take place. So again, after we check in, I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat. Okay, we've been on that plane for hours. We had a long time trying to get in there after we landed. They're very serious about how you come in their country. So I'm just giving you the backdrop. So now we sit down, and now here comes the sale pitch. She started telling us all the things that's available while we're here. Now, mind you, this is a free, I mean, it's not a free resort, but everything is free. Once you pay for the resort, your food, your dinners, all of that is free. So I don't understand what else you have to tell me or sell me, because everything is free. Okay? Drinks, everything. Well, the sale pitch comes. And she started telling us about the sale pitch and how if we go to this breakfast, now she said, well, we want to invite you to a breakfast at the, let me show you what I'm, at the Joya Rose Hall by Iberostar. So that's, like I said, really the top-notch place. So I said, well, do we have breakfast free here? Oh, yes, 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 but you get to have breakfast there. So I'm not seeing any difference. I'm saying, okay, all right. So my wife was like, oh, yeah, yeah, I would like to do that. I want to do it. So I said, okay. So I said, okay. So my issue with that is, before I go into my other points, is that I'm not here for you to sell me anything else. I have paid money to stay here. It's all inclusive. I don't see what else you have to sell me. So that was the first impression. Imagine going from the plane, checking in, and immediately someone is trying to sell you another experience. Okay? So after that, the young lady did tell us, she was like, hey, there, because she heard us talking that I was hungry. She said, oh, well, after you're done talking to me, you can go to it's a jerk hut. So I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, I've ate, jerk food in the States, but I want to try the authentic jerk food, jerk chicken. Well, that turned out to be a plain disaster. Okay, so me and my wife was walking towards the jerk hut, and I see the employees start frowning. So I'm like, what's wrong with the employees? Is there somebody behind us doing something that I don't know about? They're frowning as we're approaching. So we came up, and no one greeted us. No one said, hi, how may I help you? They just stared and glared. So I broke the ice. I said, hello, how are you? Can we please get some food? And they just looked, and I said, excuse me. And then so I did say something. I said, what's the problem? I said, we're here. I don't know you guys from anywhere. What is this negative energy going on here? I can't comprehend it. We just got off the plane. We just checked in. We just had a sale pitch. Now we're just coming to get some food, and you have this hostile look on your face. So a guy intervened, and then they start talking, in Jamaican, Jamaicans. I'm not Jamaican, but my sister-in-law is Jamaican, and I've talked to some Jamaican people. They have kind of their own little language they talk with each other beyond English. And they would start talking it before we came up and start making these weird noises. So that was rude within itself. So evidently they had some issue with us, most likely particularly me. But I don't know what that issue was because, like I said, we never met. I guess they didn't like my affect, my look. So that was a disaster. So what happened with that? I end up walking away. I told them, that's okay. You keep the food. Now, I paid for the food in my price, but I was so frustrated with that situation, with the rudeness. I did not eat there. We went somewhere else on a resort and got us some food. We did report it, and nothing was done about it. They just said, oh, yeah, we've had other people complain about them, and simply laughed it off. So we make a complaint. We just got here. Nobody in management went to talk to them to rectify and straighten out the situation. We don't want anybody to get fired, but they do need someone to talk to them about how they behave. How you're going to run away customers, okay? But that did not happen. They just, like I said, when we complained about it, they laughed it off. Okay, so let me fast forward. So we get our room. The room is nice. It is spacious, but there were some negative things about the room. So that night, after we hung out at the resort, we came back and we wanted to watch TV. So you know how the Caribbean is. They have those storms and stuff. Well, the TV was not functioning properly. It was beyond the issue of the storm. I went to the back to try to fix it and correct it, play with the back cables, and it all fell apart. 5-star hotel. TV falls apart. Now I have to call. They're going to send someone up. Big issue. Another issue was with the elevators. The elevators broke down. The elevators look like they're 100 years old. Not top-notch, nice elevators that you ride in at a 5-star hotel. Everything's supposed to be crisp. Everything is supposed to be clean. No way, Jose. Another issue is one day after we hung out again, we came home and we found a big roach in the room. So now I have to play the exterminator. Okay? So now I have to kill this roach that's in the room, which now that makes us feel uncomfortable. So then after we report the roach in the room, the only thing they said they can do for us, the only thing, now this is funny, was change our room. So we said, okay, where are you going to change us to? Not a better room to make up for what happened. Not, oh, we're going to upgrade your room. No, just what you could just change rooms. So the place they picked for us to change was not a good place because, in different sections of the hotels, especially in resorts, some places can be more busier than others. Some rooms can be close to a lot of attractions where people go to at the resort. We did not. So I told my wife, no, we're not going to take that room because we had been over in that area and it's very busy. That's where the restaurants are. So a lot of traffic is there. And at night you want some peace and quiet, but then, people are revving up because they're enjoying their time and their vacation. I understand that. So where we were with the room with the roach, it was more quiet, more secluded, more peaceful. So I opted for us to just stay in a room. They came up and got the roach. But like I said, no compensation. Just wanted us to change rooms, but they said it would be the same room. So again, we were brushed off again. We were brushed off with the jerk hut. We were brushed off with this roach situation. Now, when you're at these resorts, you get to hang around the pool and people come and ask you, do you want something to drink? And they make your life less stressful. You can just lay out and they'll bring your drinks to you. Well, me and my wife did not get that service either. So we were laid out and we saw them serving people and they just skipped all over us like we were not there and gave us a couple of frowns, a couple of looks. Again, issues For what? I can't tell you. I'm clueless about. I don't know. Maybe this is the way people socialize now, interact. They don't get to know each other anymore. They just prejudge you by appearance. I guess that's how we do things now. When I was growing up, you got to know a person, and then you made your decision whether you liked them or not. But now we base if we like people off of their appearance and their effect, how they look in their face. I guess, sometimes a person can have a frown on their face if they have a cramp. They just been through something. I don't know, but that's how people base their social interactions with you. Like I said, I'm only just coming up with my own conclusions because this did happen. We were totally ignored, and I felt that was rude. So again, this is affecting my wife's birthday experience, and so that was terrible. So let's get to housekeeping. So we would be gone pretty much throughout the day. We'll go back and change and get ready for dinner. So we would go around maybe 3, 4, 5, around that time frame. And guess what? Room is not done. Room is not complete. So what did we do? We called the front desk to see what's going on. Hey, our room hasn't been cleaned. Hey, what's going on? Trying to get some insight into what's going on. Well, they would say, oh, she'll be there. Don't worry about it. We said, okay, it's about 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. It's going on 4 or 5 o'clock. But okay. Make a long story short, this happened for about 2 or 3 days, and then somebody finally told us. They were like, well, we just want to be honest with you. We're short of staff. We don't have a lot of housekeepers now. Wow. So now customers are suffering because they're short of staff. Hotel room is not being cleaned. Maybe at 5 or 6. Sometimes that's how late it would be, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. before your room is clean. So that was a very, very negative experience. Now, let me get to the good part here. It's not good, it's actually bad, but the conclusion. So remember I told you earlier when I first started this that they had a sale pitch. So they wanted us to go on a tour to the real 5-star hotel. And we'll have breakfast there. That's the benefit of the tour. You get to have breakfast at the real 5-star hotel. That's what I'm calling it, the real one. All 3 supposed to be, but the real one. And then they'll give you like some credit money. You get some money, but it's a credit. So it's not like they're giving you, well, they did give us money. But yeah, you do get money. You can spend it at the resort or whatever. So that was the thing, the breakfast and the money. So that's what we chose because you can choose a show, a free show. They give you all these selections you can choose. And we chose for the money of what we call a credit. Okay, so we go. We meet a young lady. She's very nice, very sweet, kind young lady. So she's the one doing the tour and the sale pitch. So she takes us around and gives us a tour. So what they're doing is selling like how can I say, a more sophisticated timeshare, a high-class timeshare, so to speak. So it's like a timeshare. They want you to buy into their property and then you can utilize it when you go on your vacations. I did not want a timeshare spiel, okay? I don't deal with timeshares. If you do, hats off, not me, okay? But this is what we had to go through. So she gave us the tour, and like I said, that Iberostar place, I want to get the name right, the Joya, the Joia Rose Hall by Iberostar was, in my opinion, 5-star and very nice. So we had to see that. We not had to, but we got to see it. And so it was nice. We were saying, oh, this is really nice. So we went to breakfast. Remember I said that was supposed to be the big thing, how they sold us on it, that we get to eat breakfast there. Where we were staying, the place where we ate breakfast was way better than their breakfast. It was larger, bigger, more selections, more choices. Even at the Wave, The other hotel, better breakfast, more selection. So there was nothing impressive about the breakfast at the real 5-star place. So we ate breakfast. She started giving us the sale pitch, talking to us about investing into their, really what I call it, a timeshare. They called it something else. I can't remember. But it was trying to invest in their properties around the world. You put in a certain amount of money, and then you get to utilize their hotels and services. So we respectfully told her, like I said, she was a very nice young lady, very cool to talk to, that we were not interested. And we heard her out. We listened to her. We ate breakfast for about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. And, they ask you questions trying to find out what you do for a living to see if you can afford it. Okay. Not just trying to be your friend. But anyway, so we get back. So now after talking to her, we got to deal with someone. Oh, so she went and told them we said we were not interested. So then somebody else has to come along to try to change our mind. So we talked to this guy. He tried to change our mind. Oh, I think you should do it. And we was like, no, we're not interested. Okay, so he was like, oh, okay, all right, well, we're going to work on getting you your stuff. He left, and then he go gets the bigger guy. Well, he's like the senior vice president or president. So I guess they thought that was going to change our mind. So he came along, he was talking, and I told him no. So I noticed he had an attitude. He was pretty upset. Uh, but he tried to camouflage it, but you can't camouflage it. He got upset, and he walked away rapidly. You know, when somebody get angry, they kind of move fast sometimes. So it was time for them to give us what they were supposed to give us because we did the tour. And so it was supposed to be money. So the girl said, oh, we don't have all the money here. And she was saying some kind of stuff. I really didn't even care about that money. To be honest with you, I did not care about that money because I wanted to get out of there. It was wasting our time. I wanted my wife and myself to be able to enjoy the resort. And this was taking up our time. Okay. So she gave us an envelope with some of the money. Keyword, some of the money. We did not get all of the money. So we go back. The young lady who sold us this when the first day we got there said, oh, hi, how did everything go? And we told her, the young lady was nice. We were not interested. She said, okay, did you get your money? Because, see, all she cares about is that we went. That goes for a plus for her. But she did ask, did we get the money? And we told her, she said, how much, what did you get? So we told her, she said, oh, you're supposed to get more money. And she was shocked. She was like, they didn't give you whatever the money was supposed to be? They didn't give you that price? They didn't give you that money? And we said, no, we did not get that amount. So she told her supervisor, and he just looked, and nothing was done about it. And she complained. She did complain and advocate for us. And they just looked and did nothing about it. So, and I will say this, so I don't want people to think I'm being dishonest. My wife happened to talk to, I think, like another young lady, and she had some influence around there. And so they did give us credit for the gift shop, that we could get something for the gift shop, and it was a certain price. So my wife did utilize that. So, because the lady was upset that they didn't try to do anything to compensate some of the issues that we had there. So I just want to warn you to be aware. I'll tell you the name of the place where we stayed, and I'll spell it out again because this is like a kind of weird name. The guy who owned this is from Spain. So it's the Iberostar, Iberostar Selection Rose Hall Suites in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Beware and enter at your own risk. This is Story Time with Wayne. Won't you go ahead and do a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. See you soon, YouTube. Have a great day.